Welcome back to lesson 11.3. This is part 2. Our first part of the lesson went beyond our time limit, so we're going to pick up where we left off. So the last thing we did was we found the area for either the front or the back, and now we're going to move on to either the top or the bottom. So since it was the bottom, we had 3.5 times 4, and we were making that improper, so that would be 7 over 2 times 4. So we'll put a 1 under the 4. We can cross cancel here. 2 will go into 2 one time, 2 will go into 4 twice. So that just gives me 14. And then I'm going to do my left and my right. So I've got 4 times 17 over 2. I'll put a 1 under the 4 and cross cancel, which gives me 34. Alright, now when I did this only took care of one of the sides. So we're going to go back and we're going to multiply each one of these numbers times 2. Or I could have done that at the very end. So when I multiply by 2, 119 times 2 is 238. And 4 times 1 is 4. 14 times 2 is 30. That's supposed to be 28. 28. And then 34 times 2 is 68. I'm going to go back and double check those since it's like 1 in the morning and I'm trying to do stuff in my head. Alright, so let's go ahead and make this a mixed number. So 4 will go into 238. So I get that this is 59 and 2/4. Alright, so now let's go ahead and add up our whole numbers. So we've got 59 plus 28 plus 68, which is 155. And then I've got that 2/4, which will be a half when we simplify it. So we end up with 155.5 inches squared. So that was probably the hardest problem that we'll do today. Here's your next one. So here we've got another rectangular prism. So remember, we're going to do the front and the back, the top and the bottom, and the left and the right. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the front. We'll call this the front. So we've got 3 times, since this is 8, this right here would also be 8. So 3 times 8. So that means the front and the back. 3 times 8 is 24. Then we'll do the top and the bottom, so we're saying 3 times 5, which is 15. So that part right there is 15. And then we'll say this right side and the left side. So the right side is 8 times 5, which is 40. We're going to add those together. Get 79. Now that only takes care of 1/2 of this, so we need to double it to take care of the other half. And what I mean is, this only takes care of the part we can see. We're not taking care of the parts we can't see. So when we multiply that, we get 158 meters squared. Alright, so the next one is our cube. So remember, with a cube, we're going to find the area of one face and then multiply it by 6. So if I said 7 times 7, I'd get 49. So to get the surface area for the whole cube, I'd take that 49 and multiply by 6 to get 294 inches squared. Alright, number 6, calculate the surface area of the cube in exercise 5, this one, using the formula. So my formula is S equals 6 times side squared, and the side was 7, so 7 squared. So that means we're saying 6 times 49, which is exactly what we did over here. Pretty much, we just did it without the formula. Alright, so before you do your practice workbook page that's scanned in there, I do want to make sure on number 4, I want to make sure you know what you're doing there. So let me draw this out. I'm going to pause this while I draw it out. Okay, so on number 4, on the practice workbook, when you get to the part where you're having to do the triangle, so remember you're doing triangle 1, triangle 2, rectangle 1, rectangle 2, rectangle 3. You've got to know which numbers to use for your triangles. You're going to use the numbers that are next to the right angle symbol. So that means you're using the 8 and the 6 for your triangles. So you're going to ignore the 10 for this part. You'll use the 10 for one of your rectangles. So here we'd say half of 8 times 6. So 8 times 6 is 48, and half of that is 24. So that means that each of these triangles is going to be 24. Then you're going to multiply each number that goes around the triangle by 12. So you're saying 12, 12, and 12, and you're multiplying them by each number. So 6, 8, and 10. So when I add these together, I've got 48. So 48 plus 12 times 6. Then 12 times 8. And then 12 times 10. And then you'll add those together. 48 plus 72 plus 96 plus 120. And you should get 336, and that would be centimeters squared. So typically that one's one that kids have questions about, so I wanted to make sure I went over that with you. Alright, well, good luck, and if you have questions, please let me know.